This
Yeah.
is the main reason, no, to help someone that don't have the voice to tell these things. I have the voice, and I want to be the voice of them, no. And so, if this song can help them, I will be glad, no, about it.
Welcome back to the Headbangers podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Here today, we're joined by Francesco from Windrose. How are you doing, man? Start off with.
Hey there, guys. All good, all good, all good. And you guys, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So we like to start off like a little icebreaker. What is your funniest tour story or gig story that you can recall?
Oh, the funny story about live or about recordings, about video shooting?
Anything. Could be like on tour, gigs, anything that just sticks out to you as being the funniest moment in the band.
We had a lot of funniest moments. I mean, we are fucking assholes, you know. Can we say fucking in?
Oh,
in
yeah.
This?
Awesome, guys. We don't rest on ceremony here. Go on.
Okay. We are fucking assholes, to be honest, on tour, and we laugh like 24 hours per day, you know, maybe 25 hours per day. I don't know. So, you know, yeah. There are a lot of funny moments. So I can recall nothing right now because it's too much. But the most funny things happens on tour because you release now the beast that you had, the inner beast that you have inside.
Yeah.
So it's fucking cool. Fucking cool.
Yeah, release the beast while you're on tour and then go back and just like not speak to anyone for like months. Is that how it goes?
I kind of want to get into like, obviously you know in your music there's a lot of high fantasy elements, and like I want to kind of delve into what sort of inspired that initially for you guys. Obviously we know you know you're big fans of, you know, like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. What do you think that stuff like, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien's work inspired you a lot as well, or is it just sort of something you've always been interested in?
To be honest, we at the beginning we were more progressive, okay? So we wanted to create a story with our own world, like Lord of the Rings, like, okay?
Yeah.
A story like that. Obviously, it's not easy, you know. It's not something that you do from the night to the morning, no? So from progressive, that's the point where we started. We just made a change on more power metal stuff on the second album, and we also made a song that was called "The Breed of Durin," and that's why, you know, we followed the path of the Dwarfs because we realized that the people was enjoying that song so much, and it was so cool, you know, that we wanted to try to. I mean, I said there are Vikings outside, there are, you know, anything, you know, pirates, you know, everything. So why can't we dwarfs? That's right, and it was a good move, no? So.
Yeah. So it was like something that you saw that people, like the fan reaction to doing stuff about dwarfs was like the most positive out of anything that you writ. So you decided to kind of hone it down from there then.
What do you mean?
So like, you know, you wrote the song about the dwarfs. Obviously, it wasn't originally intended to be just about dwarfs and like, you know, their stories.
like me.
And you sort of, yeah. So you sort of like went down that road.
No, no, because someone told me, hey, but I thought that you were talking about midgets. I say, well, what the fuck, man? I mean, no.
That'll be a different road entirely.
Only Hailstorm can do this, no? They are the only persons allowed, no, to show this in a video even. Anyway, to be honest, we wanted to write music, you know, in a epic style, a cinematic style, you know, like for films or stuff like that. And obviously I got a big passion for dwarves that comes from when I was younger. I was playing Warhammer, you know, with the miniatures, all the stuff. And then playing MMORPGs, obviously. So it's a passion that I drag, from when I was a kid, So in the end, it became my work, my job. So it's good.
Yeah, man.
And it's definitely interesting because I think dwarfs have always kind of made it into most mythologies. It's crazy when you think about it, like, that there's in every country there's like some kind of dwarf, like, like dwarf in their older mythologies, and stuff like that. Like, obviously Vikings for one, but there's literally thousands of cases of stories of dwarfs from over the years, and it's crazy that this one sort of like idea. I was like, oh yeah, there's these dwarfs, they make shit and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy that all, like, every single, like, almost society had that sort of like story entwined.
So yeah, I don't know. Probably it's like, they are pretty famous. I mean, they are pretty used in the mythology here in Europe. So probably the stories, the legends, were brought by the wanderers, around Europe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, obviously, in the Norse mythology is the most. They have the most important part because it's where Tolkien got the inspiration as well. So
yeah, yeah. I feel like most of it spawned from there, and a lot of like mythology stuff. And I guess like Norse mythology is the most, I don't know, glorified because there's so much like movies and TV shows and games. Like, I think people just love that stuff because it's just cool. You know what I mean? It's just always been really cool.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that Dwarfs had the success that they deserve just because the historical moment, talking about music, was the right one. Because talking about Dwarfs, you talk indirectly of Northern mythology, no? So people got interested in this because they had the basis gave by the television, by the films, the games nowadays. So it's cool.
I think as well, like, dwarfs, it mirrors very much like what metalheads are in a way, because on the surface to the outside people are, they're so angry and full of hate. Which I guess if I'm a dwarf, you'd look at it and you'd be like, oh yeah, they look really angry. But then they're kind of like singing, dancing, just having a good time, which I guess like Windrose, when you watch you guys live, that's the kind of atmosphere you get, is just this big bearded men just fucking having a good time and just, partying, drinking. So I think there's some sort of correlation there between the two. That's why it works so well.
It depends on the song, to be honest, because for example, the latest album that will be out on 10th June, Warfront, it's an album that is heavier for sure and darker as atmosphere, because the previous album with songs like, obviously, Diggy Diggy All, but it's a cover.
I love that
one. But obviously, even with Drunken Doors, for example, there is more a party mood, no, in the air when we play live on stage. But with this album, obviously we got another element, no, inside the composition, because we got the pandemic, no, so we were forced to stay at home for years. I mean, Italy was kind of the first of Europe, no, that was closed, and we stayed closed for 1 year straight, and it was even. It was also hard to compose because it changed the way of the composition. We had to make the calls on Zoom like we are doing right now. So it was difficult, and obviously it affected also the mood of the people. So the album now is darker, but yes, I mean, we like always to have fun. without be silly on stage, you know, without be comedians, because we are not comedians, we are musicians.
Yeah.
And but it's not, I mean, it's not something that you can give for granted, because nowadays there are more and more bands that they just want to make laugh the people, no?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
the music is on a second level. It's not on the same
For
level.
sure.
No?
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
So,
we've spoke about it in the past with podcasts, like on the podcast where it's like there's so many like sort of bands out there that have sort of gone out and gone, oh, I want to just copy this band, and I feel like a lot of people have the attitude of like they kind of just want to say they're in a band. And I feel that that's affected sort of the scene in some ways, because you get just these copycat bands pop up all the time where it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's like I've had that joke in the past where it's like every metalcore band heard Doomsday by Architects and we're like, let's just do that for the rest of our career. So yeah, I completely understand where you're kind of coming from that. I was actually gonna ask you about the new album, and obviously any more tones that were in there, but you've kind of covered that. Is it, other than it being a bit more darker, what more can we sort of expect from it?
we should expect an album that is beside darker, that I already said that. We should expect an album that is really powerful, because we found also a new solution with Lasse Lammer, that is the second time now that is mixing and mastering our albums, because he did Winter Saga, and now he did also Warfront. And he found a new solution, a sound solution for the mixing, and there is less compression, you know, of the instruments like we hear in all the modern music, but it allows the music to have more sustain, no, on the lower frequencies. So it's very cool. And beside this, beside the sound change, we just made this album with the most epic parts that we were able to do in 3 years. We really spent a lot of time, you know, and the songs were reworked until 1 month before go to the to the studio, for real, because it's never enough. There is a time that you have to say, okay guys, this song is perfect like this, let's stop, because if you don't stop, I mean, you will continue working, and you never finish the songs. You have to wrap it, and okay, it's like this, let's go to the studio because it's perfect like this. But we are a band that don't want to put, you know, the first lyrics. We don't want to put the first riff that we have. Okay, the song is good like this, let's go, no? Yeah. Even if probably has the same listeners of a good song, no? But we want to make the best that we can for for the people that really want to hear the music, and for ourselves, because obviously when you do a work and you know that you can do better, you want to do better. No, you want the best. I mean, in my case, I'm very perfectionist on this.
I think that's good. I think like with like being a perfectionist is like a gift and a curse, because it means that you'll always want to do better and always surpass what you've done last, but then at the same time you're never really truly happy with what you've produced, or like you might be happy, but there's always something at the back of your brain like, I wish I'd changed that bit.
I'm never happy about what I do, but at least I try to remove all the stuff that to don't have like a remorse, no, for the like, no, if I say this, or if I wrote, or if I put this chord, no, instead of the other, no, no, I don't want to feel like this. I mean, I don't want to have any of these problems until it's not perfect for the three that we composed. That it's me, Claudio Falconcini, and Federico Miranda. So the guitar and the keyboard play. Until it's okay for us, is not going to be released, because you have to be happy and satisfied by the result, or you every time you hear it, it's a mess, no?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I sort of relate that to that on like a band level as well, because when last year my band released like our first track, and looking back on it, we rushed through it a little bit, and like it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as we could have got it. The mixing was great. We worked with a great producer on that, but at the same time, it was just kind of like in the studio, the demo was completely rewritten because it's like we just didn't work it out. And I completely get like that sort of perfectionist mindset. I was like, I always thought if we had just worked on that for a little bit longer, let that bun sit in the oven, then we would have had that song in the studio, and then the bit that could have been changed could have made the song even better. And it was just one of those things where I always think about it now, going like all the things I would have done differently, doing that, being like, listen to it back now, going, I'd have done that differently.
Yeah, but it's for many bands, I mean, it doesn't matter, because I want to believe that all the musicians are capable to do better music, okay? So if you do lyrics like fire in the sky in the night, it means that you wanted to do it like this. But obviously, they are the three words more inflectionated in power metal, no? I mean, they are the most used. So if you do a lyric specifically like this, it means that maybe you wanted to put it to get more fans as possible. I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know. But when I hear this kind of Manowar lyrics, no, you know, the Manowars are famous for this. They probably wrote the lyrics with the dice, no, and there was a sword, fire, knife, no, and they rolled the dice, and they...
like a starter pack, isn't it?
Yeah, probably was probably was something like this. I don't know, but I mean, it was other times. No, it was like 40 days, 40 years ago. So I can understand. But now that there are a lot of music out, in my opinion, to grow and to stay also, because you have to grow, but you can even you don't have even to do like this and then go back to zero. No, you have to stay always on a vertical growth, no? And to stay like this, you have to put good ideas, because the good ideas in the long run, they win. Because,
definitely.
Yeah, the silly song with two notes will be forget soon, no? But
definitely.
Music well composed and well with the lyrics well written, you know, all the stuff, in my opinion, in the long term, in the long run, win.
Oh yeah, I think definitely with streaming as well, because like there's that many bands on Spotify and Apple Music where you've really got to think outside the box to sort of be like, all right, but why would they want to listen to us, and really take your writing from another perspective and really sort of flip it on its head. So it is when someone does listen to it, they go, I want to come back to these guys, because there's so many bands that I personally as well like have checked out on Spotify, being like, yeah, these are cool, but then completely forgot about. But the ones that had a really cool concept, the one that had, you know, like really cool, that you could tell that a true passion had been put into their music, were the ones that I went back to, and I'm like, oh yeah, but these guys, I'm gonna make sure that I save this in my head. So I think it's always as important as a musician to sort of start to look at your music from that angle and say, okay, well,
it's true. It's true.
It's definitely like, I think streaming's the best and worst thing that's happened to music, because now there's so much demand, but at the same time there's the entire like audience is just massive, and the amount of bands out there is massive, and the amount of accessibility is massive. So now it just puts so much pressure on bands being like, how the fuck are we going to stand out?
Yeah, the problem is that even, for example, it depends on the countries, but people used to listen always to the same music. I mean, even if there are a lot of bands, new bands out, there's no many people that is interested in listen to new bands. I mean, oh no, I listen Iron Maiden for 30 years now, and I continue. Stop, no? But in my opinion, you put a limit to even to your, I mean, to your music knowledge for sure, but even to your fantasy, because probably you can discover some bands with particular sounds, no, that they open totally your mind.
Yeah,
as it
it's always
happened to
refreshing.
me, huh? It happened to me like yes, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I was knowing Winter Sun. I make a I was called a shout out to Winter Sun because they are one of my favorite bands. Okay, and I was knowing them for Winter Sun, obviously the first album from 2004, stuff like this, and then they came out with Time One, and I was totally wasted by this album. In my opinion, this album was one of the most perfect album that I ever heard in the latest years, because it's like 3 songs. It's a shit, you know? It's 45 minutes with 3 songs, but 3 songs, they are fucking good, no? In every aspect, no? All the details, everything is good, no? So in my opinion, for example, Winter Sun is one of the bands that you cannot judge a band for the streams, because they have like 100,000 people, listeners, no, per month. But they are, come on, Gary Mempa is a genius, no? So
yeah, literally, I love it when you just come across an album that like really just blows you away, because you can listen to like tons of music. Like obviously I try and listen to as much as I can. Like if something gets released, I'll listen to it. But you know, occasionally you'll just find that one that just hits the spot. Like you said, it could be 3 songs, could be 10 songs. It doesn't really matter. But if it just hits the right spot, you're like, wow, okay, exactly. These guys mean business.
Exactly.
Sure.
It was 45 minutes, and probably the album is shorter, but they put some minutes without music, you know, with bullshits, just to reach the 45 or 46. But beside this, the musical choices that they put in this album was fantastic. And in my opinion, if you hear from Windrose songs like We Were Warriors or Together We Rise, or I mean, you can recognize that there is an influence of Winter Sun in some aspect, you know.
Yeah.
I can say for Windrose, I can say Tourisas, I can say Winter Sun, I can say a lot of bands, even Enciferum, obviously, big friends. Cheers to everyone. And I mean, those are our influences, but obviously it was already made with the Scream and Growls, no? By Fintroll, by a lot of bands. So we said, why should we make Scream and Growl when we can do something different, just put in different vocals, no? So we started to make this mix that like folk metal, power metal with opera singing and with my voice. I mean that I do all the choirs and all the vocals usually on the albums. I just hire another guy that is a friend of mine, Tommaso Corvaia, that do just the 2 lines lower, because my voice is not very low, and when I go like this, no. I can't make it powerful as I want. So I call him for the studio, and he do these lines. But in my opinion, was something new, no? I mean, not musically probably, but if I have to tell, okay, Windrose is like, I can tell you 10 bands, but no one of them is like Windrose. I mean, it's no, am I wrong?
I agree.
I agree
because
I agree, yeah.
we got our style in the years. We got our way to compose, our way to record, and to with our elements, and musically probably you can recognize some bands, some influences, stuff like this, but I mean, the vocals are totally different for a power metal band, no?
Yeah, you can tell that it's
yeah.
Windrose, which I think is the most important thing, is that, you know, you have your own DNA as a band. Like, you can see, like I say, you can see the influences, but you immediately know that's Windrose, that's this band, and I think that's what defines you as a great band, is the fact that people know it's you.
Thank you.
And on the back of that, I wanted to ask, obviously you've conveyed so many like great tales and stories, you know, throughout the lyrics of your songs. Is there one song in particular that you written and you're like, this is the best thing I've written, and you're most proud of it? And what is it and why?
I'm proud of all the songs that I wrote, but probably in the last album that will be out, that will be released next month, there is a song that costed me a lot of energies, a lot of sleepless nights, you know. And it's called I Am the Mountain. I close my throat telling this because it's a song that talks about a problem that is more common every day more, and it's depression, no? And it's a problem obviously that I lived in first person, and unfortunately even for other episodes of my life, no, from other people that they are very close to me and that I love. So the thing is that this song talks about a person that walk through a land, no, dead, silent, of snow and nothing else, no, and it doesn't see even where he's going, no. So when he gets tired, he just lay on the ground and he wanted just to sleep there, not forever. But in front of him, far away, no, miles away, you see a big mountain, and there is lights. There are lights in this mountain, you know, fire, life inside there. So he decide to go straight through the struggles, through even if if he feels that one just to lay down on the snow and that's it. No, he decided to go there and climb the mountain, and then he realized that the mountain is himself, because as it says that there's still fire in the mountain, there's still fire inside me, because he realized that the force, the strength that the mountain has is also inside you, and from the top of the mountain you can see what his life was and will be, you know, in the future. It has a clear vision of that. From the bottom he couldn't, from the top yes, but he had to struggle to arrive to the top. So this is a song that, to be honest, is I mean, not my favorite, because they are all my favorite, but I'm very affectionate to this song now for this specific topic.
Oh, you
I
definitely.
love like the complex of it.
I feel like it, obviously a lot of people to certain capacity has felt depression in the time, and a lot of people do think that that's just how it's going to be forever. But I think it's so important to drive home the message like, hey, it's not going to be like this forever. There is an end to it. You've just got to find it within yourself to get through it, and within yourself, and find your own sort of courage to get through it. And I really like that you're pushing that sort of message through your music, because I think it's a very important message to sort of to push to people that it is okay not to be okay, and it is okay, and you can get through it. So yeah, I appreciate that you've written a song about that subject.
Yeah, this is the.
Like...
I'm sorry. This is the main reason, no, to help someone that don't have the voice to tell these things. I have the voice, and I want to be the voice of them, no. And so, if this song can help them, I will be glad, no, about it.
Yeah, I like how it's very complex as well, because it's not on the nose that it's about that, and I feel like people might listen to it and get their own interpretations. But I think you can sort of be like really open about it and say this is what it is. But I like how you make people think, and this is what it's about. And I think the people that have struggled and gone through that sort of thing will probably pick that up and read it and like, oh shit, this is what I've been through. Like, it really connects with me. So I think that's really cool how you've done that. That's sort of metaphorical as opposed to being completely on the nose. So yeah, I respect that.
Definitely. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It sounds like an incredible song. I honestly can't wait. We can't wait to hear it. Obviously, with the context of what you've told us there. Because I do really like that message, and I think it's a very important one to tell.
Yeah.
So as I was telling, if I can help people with this song, I want to be their voice, etc. What did you say that I didn't hear you, Nathan?
I just think that I can't wait to sort of hear that song, obviously with that context, because I do think that story that you've told in that song is a very good one, and a very important one. I feel like to a lot of people, to anyone that is suffering with depression, or anything going on in their lives, I think hearing that can help them through it, because the end of the day, when you are depressed, you feel like you're completely alone in feeling like that. And knowing that someone else felt like that, it doesn't sound like it does a lot for you, but it really does in the long run, because like, okay, so it's not just me. So I feel like that is such an important sort of message for someone to sort of read, and I think it will help them through a lot of shit.
Yeah, because it can happen to anyone, even if I look like I'm strong, and nothing can beat me. I got this problem now in my life. So it means that you're not in defect if you have this problem. It's normal. We are all humans, no? So that's why I wanted to put this message in this songs. Obviously, would just listen the song, very superficial listening, like while doing other stuff, will not understand it. We'll just hear an epic music and song, etc. But who will read the lyrics, etc., will understand the real meaning of the song, or they will just make their own interpretation. No, this is the good thing of music, that you can read the lyrics and you can interpret it as you want. For me, a song, it means something. For you, maybe something else. No, everyone has a song that you remind an ex-girlfriend, or you remind someone that is passed away, unfortunately, or you remind, a sad moment, or a super happy moment. No, so it's normal. It's the power of music, and
it's the beauty of it, for sure.
So this song is made on purpose for this, and it's followed by Tomorrow Has Come. That is obviously a song about. It's the first time that we do a kind of music like this, because we did a song that Tomorrow Has Come is the first ballad of Windrose, to be honest.
Okay.
It will be in the last song of the album will be a ballad, not a classical one. I mean, like it will be Windrose style, but yes.
Oh yeah.
It has a message as well. I mean, if you don't find me tomorrow, you have to know that I feel good, that I'm good. You don't have to worry. The chorus, it says, and your tears will not be shed for me if I will be gone when tomorrow has come. It's like this, not the main part. So it has many parts. I think it's interesting. I just let the people to tell me what they think about it.
I'm really intrigued, to be honest, because like it seems like obviously you've had some deep songs before, but I feel like this seems like the most in touch that you guys have been with this album, like from what you've described to me and just like, the metaphorical meanings behind it all. I'm really interested to give this a listen and see what you do, because I imagine you'll touch a lot of nice concepts in there, but you'll do it Windrose style as well. So, I think obviously seeing it live as well, I imagine the ballad is going to make an appearance on your set, maybe. I don't know.
For the moment, it will be cool to start the career that we had before, no? So for the moment, I don't have any news beside the festival, etc. I don't know, but I mean, obviously, our main goal will be to release this album and bring it all around the world, no? So
yeah,
it will be really cool. I don't know if in UK will be a problem now with the Brexit. I don't know. I'm to be honest, I don't know anything about the rules that they are right now for the bands, at least, because we have to bring the merchandise, we have to bring a lot of stuff, so it will be like passing a border like this, no? So I don't know.
We've heard many mixed things from from other bands where it's more like sort of North America where you need like proper visas and stuff like. There's a few more checks. From what I've heard, it's not incredibly hard. There's just a few extra steps that if you haven't done it before, it's kind of like, oh shit, we've got to fucking do this now. So it has caught a couple people out where they've been like, I didn't know you had to do that now. But I've heard for the most part, it's still relatively easy. It's just there's a couple things that if you're unaware of, you just got to sort of read into it.
Yeah, probably, especially if you have been in UK before or in Europe before. No, if you are a UK band, it's easier to get the visas for the band's member.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
I imagine so. I imagine because otherwise it wouldn't make much sense, because it's like, oh, they've been here before. Why does it have to be way harder to do it? Plus, at the end of the day, it's good for the economy. So that's one thing we fucking need right now. So that it's like you can't really scrutinize it. But yeah, from what we've heard, there's a few extra things you've got to go through. But
we definitely love to have you back. Loved your performance at Bloodstock.
Yeah,
that was sick.
I mean, yeah, it will be really cool to be back at Bloodstock. To be honest, I miss it a lot because we went there with To Erebor, and obviously To Erebor was out, and I was seeing we were on Sophie Lancaster, the stage. Yeah. And I saw everyone get crazy for that song, and it was amazing. And from that song, every time we went back to UK, we had always a good crowd, even in front of the stage. Even if we were playing with other bands, all the people were knowing our music. I guess it's one of the best places where to play for Windrose. In England, Scotland, in Ireland, we just went for a couple of gigs, a couple of times, but it was cool. I mean, it's all cool. UK is very cool.
Yeah, and I feel like there was something very sort of special about that last year's Bloodstock. Because obviously it's like for a lot of us, it was like the first time we'd left the house since COVID. So it was honestly, last year's Bloodstock was one of the best I've been to. Just because it was nice to get out of the house. A lot of bands did turn up. Like there was a lot of like, I don't know if they're going to turn up. I don't know if they can do it. I don't know if they can do it. So we got a few dropouts, but for the most part, a lot of bands stayed and like, well, oh great, we actually get to see these bands. Been looking forward to seeing them for 2 years. So, yeah, last year's Bloodstock was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, I'm excited for this year's too. I kind of want to get into, obviously looking at your Instagram, I can tell that you're into games and everything like that. So I kind of want to go into what's been your most favorite game recently, that you played in recent years so far.
To be honest, if we are talking about single player games, it's Claudio or Federico Gatti, the drummer, are more in single player gaming. But I like to play just online games, to be honest. So I used to play a lot Call of Duty, for example, with my team. I have a team of like 10, 12 people, and we used to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And I mean, we play other FPS, and that's it. I mean, obviously, I like also to do retro gaming for the MMORPGs, because I think that the MMOs of the past are superior than the new one. I mean, the new one is go there, kill 5 dogs. You kill 5 dogs. Yeah, get this sword. Okay, now go and kill like 10 bandits. You kill them? Yeah, now come on. And there is even a button to click if you don't want to press the W, no? There is a button to click, and it follow a route, that goes straight, a route that goes straight to the NPC that give you the quest. So the new MMOs are totally Korean style, no? And I don't like. So I prefer old school MMOs like Dark Age of Camelot, or Dark Age of Camelot is the most beautiful, in my opinion, for the gameplay experience. Another one that I liked a lot was obviously World of Warcraft, where I was a dwarf rogue.
Of course.
And then Arcade was cool, but for the gameplay, because it has words on the ground, but also on the seas, in the sea, and it was very cool. Obviously, it was a bit pay to win, so back in the days it was difficult to play. Now, when there is people that spend like $10,000 on a game,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand, to be honest. I mean,
I'm sure World of Warcraft, it must have like the most DLC of a game I've ever seen. Because is it still going? Is it still producing like?
Yeah. It's a new DLC is coming out in these days, I guess.
Christ, didn't they remaster one of the older ones? Wow. And I heard it got really bad reception, like from a lot of the fans.
Anyway, now it's too much. No, I mean, they're trying to. What they did with the classic was cool, because they did the classic and they brought back all the players, Yeah. And then they basically said, now you have to pay the game from the beginning, no, motherfucker. So they just
oh my goodness, lost.
Yeah, I know. They just put the classic and then a new DLC. It's the DLC that was released like 15 years ago, and then a new DLC, and you have to farm always, basically the old gamers, they are playing the game from the beginning once again. No, I mean, it's
that's
shit.
crazy.
That is crazy. It's crazy. It's too much.
I kind of feel like as well, I've got a thing about like microtransactions. Like when I pay a game, especially like how expensive they are now, because I've got like a PlayStation 5 and like games for that are like 70 quid, which is just so much money. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, if you want to like get more stuff in the game, you need to pay like £20, £30 on top of that. I'm like, if I buy a game, I kind of just want to play it for what it is. I don't want to have to like buy stuff to get further in it. So I usually always choose games that I'll buy the one-off payment and then that's it. I don't have to buy any more like
you don't want to, but you don't want to pay the subscription, for example. You don't like to pay this. I mean,
do you mean like for PlayStation Network and stuff?
No, I mean of the game, the subscription of the game, because if you pay, for example, monthly, okay, they are not they can I mean improve the game and fix the stuff and put new stuff, and they are not forced to go on a pay to win vision of the game, because the problem of nowadays is that the games die in 2 months, 3 months, no? So if you spend the 1 million euros, no, or more, 1 million euro or 2 million euro in a game that dies in 2 months because nobody played, because usually they come out, you know, they are released. No, we release it today. We had to release it in 1 year. No, we release it today, and you have to find all the bugs and send the report to the developers. I mean, nobody wants to do the beta testers. I mean, yeah, come on. I pay a game 70 euros, 80 euros. I can pay even 100 euros, but give me the game that it works, you know, that is already balanced, that is already fixed in all the aspects. That's the important thing. If you have this, you can pay even a subscription. I can pay even 10 euros per month if I like the game, why not? But if you have to put pay to win stuff to get the money back from the users, or you have to just drop it in the market and that's it, you don't work it anymore, it's a problem. No, you don't know, the people don't know if they can trust and buy a new game, you know, in early access, because there is the chance that it will never be released.
Oh yeah, it's like DayZ. How long was that in like early access?
Yeah,
exactly. It's out fully now, but it's there. Like,
Jesus,
how long did it take for
coming.
it to get to that point? I think like one game that sort of like flipped how everything works on its head was No Man's Sky, because I recently bought that, and I remember when it came out, the state it was in, it got panned. Like everyone hated it. There were like barely anything to do in the game. I just got it secondhand for like 15 quid after all these years of them updating it and really refining the game. And they're like, I'd have paid 60 quid for it now. Like it was so worth it. Like it's consumed my life. Like I'm living out my Star
Dude, that's
Wars
fucking
fantasy.
crazy how long that was coming there, because I was 16 when they first released that, I think, and now I'm 25, and now they've only just fixed it. I'm just like, that's crazy, but at least they finally did it. At least they, you know, put the money where their mouth is and actually really tried to make it work. But it happened so much, like it happened with Cyberpunk, and like everyone was pumped for that. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but fuck me, was that game broken? So it's just
if
mad.
you make the comparison between Cyberpunk and GTA is superior. I mean, in the dynamics of the game, I mean, not in the contents. If you like more Cyberpunk style of the world, okay, it's not a problem. It's a matter of what you like, okay? So I don't judge. But
yeah,
come on, you can crash the cars and every piece of the car fall apart, you know, in GTA. In Cyberpunk it don't happen and nothing. No, you can drop from the car and the character is like this, you know, like in the early 2000. No, it's a game that the gameplay is like this. So in my opinion, they fucked up a good chance
massively.
because there was also Keanu Reeves, you know, in the game. I mean, doing the commercial, or maybe he's in the game as well. Because I don't know
he's
anything
the villain,
about it.
yeah.
Is in the game?
Yeah, he was probably one of the best parts of it, to be fair. He was like the villain of the game.
Okay, because I never played Cyberpunk. I mean, I tried, but I refused to pay for that because it was full of bugs, and I didn't want to pay for that, to be honest. And it's single player, so I don't play.
Well, a lot of our friends, including Brad, was hit because they pre-ordered it. I was there like, I'm not buying it because I'm not. They've promised too much for it to be good. Like I got burned with Arkham Knight, and ever since then I will not pre-order a game. Because I remember I pre-ordered Arkham Knight, was so excited for it. Tried logging in onto the PC, the port crashed constantly. Like even now it runs like dog shit. Like even now it's not as good. So I was there, like, after that, I'm never pre-ordering a game like at all, unless it's from like a developer I know that's gonna hit off the park. Like I wouldn't mind pre-ordering from like Rockstar, like the next GTA, probably gonna pre-order that because I know that each
Rockstar,
time,
yes,
like,
they always surpass their limits. So, I mean, from San Andreas to all the GTA that came later, you know, they were all cool. I mean, the first GTA that I played was Vice City. In my opinion, Vice City was the best one as the story. I mean, because basically Tommy Vercetti is Scarface, no? I mean, it's a story like Scarface. So I really enjoyed the story, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed. I've always really enjoyed the San Andreas series, of obviously of GTA. But I feel like my favorite Rockstar game was obviously Red Dead Redemption 2, just because that open world, I'd lived a cowboy fantasy for like at least 6 months in that game, where like I wouldn't even play like the story. I'd be like, you know what, today I'm gonna be a cowboy that goes hunting in like the snow and just do that for hours. I was just like, be like, this is sick. I really like proper immersed myself into that game, and like because of that, I was like, this is my favorite Rockstar game, and I've always been a fan. Like, so I mean, like, I was like, nah, this is the best game so far. If the next GTA is anything like Red Dead, oh, I can't wait.
Okay. So we're sort of coming to the end point of the interview now. One way that we always like to leave it is, what advice would you give to your younger self, and what advice would you give to a new musician starting out?
I can give you an advice. Don't be a musician. No, study. No, because my parents were like, I mean, my parents, my grandparents were like, hey, you have to study, you have to become a doctor. So I signed to the university, you know, after high school. I say, I signed. I made like the test. There is a test to get it accepted to the university. And I say, nah, you know what? Fuck off, I want to be a musician, no? And I'm the I'm the disgraceful person of the family, no? Because I became a musician. Yeah, everyone treat you bad until you get famous, and then, oh, I always believed in you. No, it's not true. No, come on. If you really feel that you want to make music, you have to commit 100%, okay? So if you're listening to this interview and you want to start and you have a clear idea, or even if you don't have any idea of what you are going to do, just start and commit 100%, and you will see that the results will come out.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. Honestly, I'm really excited to listen to this new album. It sounds very in-depth, but I'm sure it'll be fun as well in true Windrose fashion. I do have a bonus question for you. Who do you prefer, Thorin Oakenshield or Gimli, if you had to choose, and why?
To be honest, I prefer Gimli.
Yeah,
because it's more like me. Because Thorin at the end was blinded by the power, no? So
the gold.
yeah, by the gold. So the thing is that Gimli is more focused on what his folk was, and what are his roots, and I like the character, to be honest. Thorin changed, it's a good character, but he changed. Even in the book is a little bit like this, no? I mean, it's a dwarf that cannot, firmly go for with his idea and think with his mind, is something that will be abandoned by the rest of the dwarves, no? So he will be like someone that that you will go away, from your folks. Yeah. So it's not cool in my opinion. But it's just that I like the character, to be honest. I like the actor, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Thorin was a moody bastard towards the end, to be fair. But I love him anyway. He's cool. Yeah.
My favorite is Dwalin. Dwalin is my favorite.
I've got I think my favorite one is Gimli. Simple, because when I look back at some of my favorite moments in Lord of the Rings, anything has to do with Gimli in it. At least, like, he's always sort of like, he carried it for me. Like, when I remember what first like introduction to Lord of the Rings when I was a kid was obviously the movies, and just the bit where he's like, toss me. Like, that's always just a bit that always makes me laugh, no matter how many times I've watched the movies or even like read the books or anything like that. It's that one scene where he just looks at him in defeat and just goes, toss me. It's just makes me piss myself each time, because he's just like, had to accept, like, this is the only way I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to swallow my pride for this 1 second. And like, that's what always like makes Gimli better, because I feel like Thorin had a lot of good moments, but I feel like Gimli had way more that I remember.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much, man. I do hope to see you again if you come to the UK. Very excited for the album. I'm sure you guys are going to do well with it. So yeah, very anticipated for it. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you guys for the opportunity.
It's been absolutely great talking to you. Obviously, we're glad we managed to get this sorted out. So yeah, I'm excited to see you on your next in the UK as well.
Okay, thank you very much, and I hope to see you. In front of the stage, singing our songs, singing our songs.
We'll be there, beer in hand, getting ready, man. Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity, and we really hope to get back to UK soon. I mean, awesome. Now the situation is getting better, so there is hope for us. Okay.
Definitely. Awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best.